Hello and welcome to another Thoughts and Opinions video. Today we are doing Senran Kagura Bon Appetit for the PlayStation Vita. Okay, now to start things off, unlike the other games in this series, which were pretty much what you see before you, beat on the enemy until they died. You know, I guess they call them a beat 'em up in this case. Senran Kagura Bon Appetit scrolled away from that formula into being a one-player not like a mini game, but a rhythm game, which is different to say the least. It was the first time I've ever seen this series implement a rhythm-style game. I mean, rhythms are kind of one of my favorite. If you haven't noticed the uploads from Persona 5, Dancing in Starlight, and Persona 3, Dancing in Moonlight, with Persona 4, Dancing All Night, starting the uploads on this channel back in March of 2016. But yeah, shit time flies. But anyway, the series was pretty much... The game was pretty... Sorry, not the series, but the game. It was pretty much a rhythm-based game, which was completely different and not seen in the series before, which they had their own sets of songs, which was actually pretty cool. Some of them are actually pretty decent, especially when the 4 leaders of each squad had their own songs and vocals, which was actually pretty something else. Overall, the rhythm game was, when you get into hard mode, very difficult too. And you had to literally really practice your butt off if you really wanted any shot at this. Overall, the story, let's do each like we did before. Story first up is pretty decent. They got their own little character arc stories for each of the characters. Which actually, they weren't too bad. Some of them were kind of hilarious, others were just a little much. Like Riona again, she kind of hit a lower note than we've seen before. And again, I'm not dissing Riona for fun either. I know there are people that like her character and for who she is. I just don't happen to be one of those people. Doesn't mean she's a bad character per se, it just means I don't like her. So the stories are all pretty neat. Especially the one where Shiki pretended to be a vampire Murasaki just freaks right the hell out. It was just hilarious. So yeah, some of these stories had were pretty neat. But to the Senran Kagura universe, this whole game was non-canon, or so we thought. Before the next game in the series actually made a few of their stories canon, which was strange. That's all I gotta say about that. It's just strange. They said it's not canon at one point, but then the characters clearly remember it in the next one. Okay. Whatever. The gameplay, yeah, like I said, it was difficult. Especially if you go into hard mode. The amount of button presses you have to do is just ridiculous. And this is one of the things I gotta write a rhythm game about. Like a shit flurry of notes that go off sync and off beat with the song do not count as difficulty at all. It just counts as a severe annoyance, rather. And that's where some rhythm games thrive, while other rhythm games lack. Unfortunately, Senran Kagura Bon Appetit happened to be in the lack position. Mostly because they did that situation. It was almost like creating your own beat within a song, but to the point is, it's just at the point where you're like, okay, how's this to the beat of the song? And that's my beef with some rhythm games. Persona 4, Persona 4 and the other Persona games actually did okay in this matter. The only things that are really difficult to nail are actually the scratch rings in that game, but this is not a review of that right now. Alright. The after, yeah, the after is pretty big too. It's got like a lot of replayability, so, but there's really no perfects to these songs. You just play them and go. And it has a score value, but they're really, to me, there's really no way to improve said thing unless you just get better at the song. That's about it. But once you pretty much land perfects on every one of them, just that's it. That's just it. Really is nothing else to do on that game. There's no like enhancements like Persona 4 did. There's like no enhancements or nothing. So, I mean, you can still do the stripping like before. And put the characters in their own different outfits and DLC and all that crap. And they made a lot of the DLC from Shinobi Versus compatible with Bon Appetit, which was actually pretty neat. And what they did for this game you see here, because a lot of the DLC in this game is compatible with Estival Versus, which is actually pretty neat. Peace. There we go. I guess that's all I had to say about that, to be honest. Really wasn't much. But the story of the game was pretty good. I'm gonna need more characters for next time. Well, I give Bon Appetit overall 7.5 out of 10, because it's not bad. Although, like I said, when it creates its own rhythm within an actual song, I mean, what's the point of the song in the background? Unless you want to put the rhythm of the song that you're using, but that's just a nitpick I have on this. On which most rhythm games suffer from. They think a flurry of notes that are not compatible with the song are what makes difficulty. That's not what makes difficulty. If you can still keep the note thing and keep the beat of the song, now that, my friend, is difficulty. Well, that's all for today. The next game we're discussing is Deep Crimson, Senran Kagura 2. Alright. And without any further ado, have a good one.